My goodness, I think what you love about the big guys is when you see big guys running and running fast, jumping high, jumping far in the broad jump. You go to Pittsburgh's Calijah Kancey, and this guy was rolling in his 40-yard dash, the fastest defensive tackle since 2003 in the draft. And he's out there, he's rolling, and I think what was more impressive than the kind of finish 40 was his 1.64 10-yard dash. And for everybody watching, like, all right, wow, he ran a fast 10 yards. But he's a defensive lineman. There's not many times he's going to be running 40 yards down the field. But those first 10 yards is that get off. And as you see on there, after yesterday's performance, everybody was putting his measurables and everything up against Aaron Donald, the other former Pitt Panther. And not to say, hey, he's going to grow up and be the same kind of guy and have the same career, but who knows? Has exact same measurables. A lot of the things could possibly transfer. And for this guy, he celebrated his birthday this week on the 1st, turning 22, and then goes out there yesterday and puts on that type of performance. Was very fun to watch, and that's what you want to do. You go out there and eyeballs are drawn to you, and now everybody's talking to you. Whenever you can make history, and when you look back on the draft and you're putting yourself first in 20 years, that's a huge deal. So to Kancey, one of his coaches, Taekwon Underwood, I went to college with, I asked him, I'm like, what about this kid? Is he special, hard worker? He was like, the words that he would describe him, down to earth, hard worker, and very coachable. He said he's a no-nonsense guy, and he gets it done on the field. So it's going to be fun to watch his trajectory as we get ready for the draft.
Yeah, man, he's one of those players that when you kind of break it down, you say God had his cup, and when they said athleticism, he just emptied the cup.
Emptied the bag.
Kept going.
And another guy, I'm sure Jamie knows, SEC, Nolan Smith.
Beast.
He went out there, 4.39 40, 41.5 vertical jump, 10.8 broad jump. You're like, oh, those are numbers faster than Saquon Barkley. Jumped higher than DK Metcalf, and jumped further than Von Miller. This guy went out there this past season, got a season-ending injury, tore his pec, and for a guy like that who had a great 2021 to come, not have the season you wanted 22, but now to come to the Combine, and that's what the Combine's about. All these teams are going to go watch you on film. They want to come and see, what do you look like? What are your attributes? He went out there and said, I'm shining. I'm a diamond. Come get me. If you thought about drafting me, draft me. I'm that diamond. You went through, you searched through the dirt, and now you wiped it off a little bit. You was like, man, this thing's shining. And Nolan Smith went out there yesterday, and he shined. I love when you hear these stories. Doesn't mean he's going to be the greatest football player. Like, I don't know that. But I know he went out there, dominated the Combine, participated, competed at a high level, and he's what we call an athlete.
Absolutely. One of the cool stories from the coverage yesterday was Nolan Smith finishes his 40 and gets immediately on the phone with his trainers because he's livid that he finished above 4.4.
Yeah.
I think the unofficial was 4.44. He throws his phone. He's all angry. Stacey Dells goes up to him. He's like, I felt like I was running at 85%. Then it comes in, official 4.39, and it like brightened his entire day.
Now he was running 100%.
Exactly. He's like, okay, yeah, I was right. I was right all along.
Or maybe he said that was 85%.
That's an incredible story.
It is. What Georgia and Kirby Smart have been able to do, what we saw in the draft a year ago with their defensive players, and now what we're going to see once again, and he continues to do it. This is not where it stops. It's just going to continue year after year. Georgia's the new staple, and they're the producers for NFL defensive players with Kirby Smart, and everybody's funneling that way. He's just put up a border wall around the state of Georgia. If you are great in the state of Georgia, you're not getting out to go anywhere else in this country, and that makes them really good. I'm going to go a little bit further west to Oklahoma. Jalen Redmond yesterday, defensive tackle, not much maligned, had a blood clot problem at Oklahoma, didn't play in 2020 because of the COVID protocols and things like that, has bounced back. Yesterday was unbelievably impressive. 6'3" almost 300 pounds, only 19 starts, but he had the second fastest 40 time at 4.81. He had the highest vertical jump at 34.5. Okay, mine was 36. This dude goes 34.5 at 293 pounds. Wow. And he had the top broad jump at 9 feet 8 inches. I mean, he had a special day. For a guy that isn't on a lot of people's radar, he steps up just like Devin says, and you have an opportunity to present yourself. Doesn't mean you're going to go on and play somewhere. My comp for him is Greg Gaines. The defensive tackle opposite of Aaron Donald in Los Angeles, who's given Aaron Donald a ton of opportunities to get one-on-one matchups. This is the guy you can do that with. You put him in the defensive line where he can eat up some other things, allow maybe your 3 technique to do some real damage in a 4-3, or your edge rushers to get off on the outside. So look for him maybe in the second, third day, but what he did yesterday really solidified himself for an opportunity in the draft.
You guys know this. It's just really amazing to watch the relief from these guys when they've put in all the work and they've faced different adversities all along, and to put the product on the field. Not only is it a relief, I think, for the guys that have been scouting them, but also for the young men themselves having put in the work. Bryan Bresee was a young man that I watched yesterday, and his story, I think, resonated with a lot of people at Clemson over the last couple of years. His sister Ella was sick. She passed away last September from a brain tumor. He's got another sister who plays high-end college basketball, 1,000-point scorer in college, runs a 4.86 as a D tackle coming out of Clemson, has a very good previous relationship with Mike Tomlin, with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tomlin visited Clemson in this 2020 season. There had been some doubts in terms of Bresee had torn his ACL in September of 21, missed the final 8 games for Clemson that year. But the fact that he came out looking like this and worked his way into a position to really rise to the top within this position group, and his size, Daniel Jeremiah, when he ran that 4.86 40, he simply said that was outstanding for his size, which if DJ's saying that and you're on his list, you've just cemented yourself.
No doubt about it.
Peter, who do you have? You were eyes on the prize, just in the flesh yesterday. So what did you like yesterday? What did you see?
It was really cool working the broadcast last night because one by one, you'd not only get the player's story, which you're telling beautifully, Jamie, then you'd get them on the field and performing, and then we were actually interviewing the players afterwards. So to see Bresee and then to see Nolan Smith get a chance to speak with Stacey Dales on the field after their performance was really special stuff, seeing their dreams realized quite a bit. There's a player that I had gotten a little buzz on before the combine drills, but then blew him out of the water to the point where he might have worked his way into a first-round selection. His name is Adetomiwa Adebawore, and he's out of Northwestern, and he's a pass rusher, and came into the combine after having a fantastic Senior Bowl week where people were like, who is this guy? Guys, weighs 280 pounds, ran a 4.5 40. At 280 pounds. And then they did the official, and it's like, no, it's actually a 4.49. It's actually better than that. All right, forget the 40. How about the weight at 282 and then jumps 37.5 inches at the vertical at the combine? Wonderful interview, wonderful young man. How about this? Grew up in Kansas City. Loves Kansas, loves football, grows up falling in love with football. His younger brother plays at Oklahoma, 5-star guy, the whole thing. Kansas City guy says, his goal when he got to the Senior Bowl is that he wants to be a first-round pick in Kansas City come April. And that was not a reality going into the Senior Bowl. 2 amazing performances. Senior Bowl all week, combine interviews all week, and then he'll do his pro day. He'll do the visits, and we'll see how it goes. But this is a guy who is viewed as maybe a day 2, 3rd, 4th-round guy, maybe a little earlier, late second. Maybe he worked his way into the first-round selection. That's the beauty of the combine. You come in, you get to meet the teams, then you get to meet your dreams when you go out there and you perform like he did. Again, 282 pounds, ran a 4.49 40. That's insane.
Here's the thing. Here's a crazy scenario, Peter. What if he just happens to fall past the first round and he doesn't get drafted in the first round in Kansas City, yet he goes to the Chiefs? So the Chiefs get him, and then it's just like, I'm sure he would wear that jersey proudly if he was able to go to Kansas City. I know you'd like it too, Peter.
That would work. We'll take it. That's a good story. I like the stories, Jamie. It's awesome. And we're waiting for you here.
I can't wait. I'm on my way after the show.